Welcome back everybody to Satisfactory, and as you can see I have made some changes to at least our starter factory off camera. When I was setting up the iron manufacturing, I actually didn't set up screws. In hindsight, I could have in that video, but that video was getting rather long. And so, basically instead I just set up that production off camera. And really all I did was I just took a splitter off of the iron line that's exiting the container. And then that constructor that's down there is making iron rods, and those two are making screws. And then the screws are just going up along that overhead conveyor into that container on up there. Yeah, because we were constantly running into power problems. Those last couple of episodes, I've kind of relocated our power, and I've expanded on it a lot. So of course that's 8 biomass burners in total. Like, of course we still have the ones that are at the hub, and then all these running in addition to those. So at least for a little while, our power's gonna be under control. But in this game, you go through power pretty quickly. Like this is not even gonna. This current power is not gonna be sufficient for another. Maybe for. It might be sufficient for 2 episodes, if that. But hopefully by then we will have coal power unlocked, and then that'll hopefully keep us going for a little while longer. So, since we kind of pretty much have and by the way, that object that I picked up in the previous episode, that is a power slug. And power slugs are, I guess, another thing that you can find scattered randomly throughout the map, much like those hard drives. But of course, hard drives and power slugs are finite. Like the world has a finite amount of them, and once you've collected all of them, there's no more of them. But the power slugs are useful because they allow you to basically overclock any machine, like basically make it faster. And I think like each machine you can put up to 3. Well, the power slugs make power shards, and you can put up to 3 power shards in any machine. And so, we're not really going to be doing that for another few more episodes yet, because we also need to unlock the map. But since in this episode we've made, we're pretty much manufacturing all the products we need, we should be able to get some research done this episode, or maybe even get started with the space elevator. And so kind of a little bit about research in Satisfactory. There's 3 main modes of research, at least currently in the current game. Of course, you have the research you do in here, in the hub terminal, which of course you can unlock all these different things. But there's also the man research, which is, we're going to be unlocking that shortly, but it's like another terminal that you can do other research through that's separate from the hub terminal. But it will also unlock a few other useful things. But then there's also the space elevator, which is another whole thing in itself, but it's mostly so basically, of course, we currently have tier 1 and 2 unlocked, but to unlock all these other tiers, we need to progress in the space elevator, which there's like 3 different stages to that, and each of those require you to manufacture parts that can only be auto-crafted. You cannot handcraft them. That can only be crafted in machines. And we don't even have the machine to do that just yet, but I'm sure once we'll get to that shortly. So, as you can see, we have a couple different paths we can take. We have, of course, this is very important because it gives us the foundations, which basically allow you to, what allow you to build, like actual structures in this game, as well as the walls. And we're going to be using this to actually build our actual base. And this unlocks the map. And of course gives you more inventory and another hand slot, which will be very helpful. Oh, and this gives us the assemblers, which is what we need to make to start on the space elevator research. I never really messed with these too much, but these are like a jump pad. But I'm sure we could get to using them at some point in the series. This is basically, you can put any like items, whether it be manufactured or just even raw ore, like you can put them in this basically what the awesome sink does is it takes any resources or materials you put into it, it gives you tickets, which you can use in the shop to the shop to unlock more things. So I guess that's technically a 4th element of research in Satisfactory. And this is faster belts, which we're gonna really need once we expand our factory more. And we even get to the point where we construct our main bus and all that, which I'll be explaining in the future episodes. I think we'll do this one next, the field research. And I've also added another container for the concrete, because we're really going to be needing a lot of this once we get to building our base.
Milestone reached. The molecular analysis machine, referred to as the MAM, will allow R&D to provide new technologies, items, and buildings based on samples collected in the field. To ensure a greater chance of success during exploration, an upgraded tool belt has been provided, as well as an object scanner and beacons. Note: the object scanner requires calibration via the MAM to enable detection of specific objects.
So, basically you get the gist of what it said there, hopefully. And of course we can just put this down right here. And since we found the power slug, let's just do this one.
New recipe unlocked.
Let's do this one.
New research available in the MAM.
This is actually going to allow us to find the slugs more easily. So once that finishes, sure is nice to not have to do any manual crafting. Or hardly any. So this is the object scanner. And so when you have when there's a certain object within range, it'll start beeping, but there's no power slugs within range. So and of course if you jump too far you take damage.
New object added to the object scanner.
Oh, so now we finally have this. So here, okay, so as you can see, it's currently beeping, but if I turn around, it stops. So of course, as we get closer and closer, the beeping will get faster. So it's up there. Now we gotta be careful because I've seen a lot of these slugs actually are guarded by monsters. Now how could we get on top? Oh, okay. We can get up here without having to build. I think we should do this one next.
Milestone reached. More complex assembly of parts can now be automated. Project assembly parts can now be constructed and sent up via the space elevator. Note: project parts are too complex to produce by hand.
Okay. Let's see if this is finished. Not quite. Well, the first thing I'm gonna want to do with that machine is make these plates. Oh, and this is the power shard that I talked about. So what we can do with that, say, if we wanted to make this guy run faster. Oh wait, yeah, we also gotta wait for this to finish. Never mind. Oh, we can take our assembler and then hopefully automate the reinforced plates. Any minute now, this should start running. Oh, and that's what I was talking about. So, say, what we could do is with this, we can put it here, and then that'll make this machine run faster if we wanted to. As you can see in the power consumption, that goes up. So that's kind of the other drawback of this. But in this case, it's our screw production isn't quite able to keep up, so we could use that on our iron rod production, but in that case, I believe the screws coming out of here will exceed what our belts can handle. So I'll just kind of put this in here, and so we can use it later. Guessing we'll do this one so we actually get to building our base. Power's doing great so far. I guess we haven't really added that much to our factory for a little while.
Milestone reached. You have unlocked several structures aimed to provide the first needed to build basic factory infrastructure and improved overview. Building these will provide a grid for more advanced organizing and sectioning of your factory.
Thinking of looking to do this one next. But I think in the meantime we can maybe start with our space elevator. As you can see, we're going to need a lot of resources for that thing.
Milestone reached. Improved versions of conveyor belts and conveyor lifts are now accessible. To encourage additional verticality, conveyor poles now have a stackable variant.
Okay, now we're gonna focus on doing the space elevator. I have a feeling this will take a little while. Oh, I actually went and crafted the rest of the things I needed by hand. But anyway, here's we're ready to make our space elevator now. And this thing is massive. And we're gonna have to choose where we're gonna put this thing carefully. There aren't really a lot of places to put things in this area. It's just a lot of rough terrain everywhere. Won't fit over here. Looks like we might have to go over here. Looks like over here may work. It's a rather steep angle. I guess this will have to do. Well, anyway, it's just a space elevator. And to basically be able to unlock different things, you have to... Of course, we're going to need 50 of those smart plating, which we aren't producing yet. But, I feel like this is probably a good time to end off our episode here. And of course, in the next episode, we're going to be setting up a production for our smart plating so we can progress to the tier 4 and tier 5, or the 3 and 4, I think it is. And then that'll unlock more things, including, I believe, coal and steel production. But I believe by that point, we're gonna actually plan out our main base. So stay tuned for that in the next coming episodes of the series, and also stay tuned for what's next to come on my YouTube channel. And as I always say, remember to rate, comment, like, and subscribe. And I guess peace out. Bye.